Good to be with you. I'm Tony DeCopo. The breaking news right now. The defense rests in the trial of Lindsay Clancy, that Massachusetts mother accused of killing her own children, with testimony from a psychiatrist who says she was, quote, clearly psychotic. Also developing tonight, new details in the death of Hayden Panettiere, what her on-again, off-again boyfriend is said to have done after she was found unconscious.
Oh, my God.
Assessing the damage after that powerful wave of storms from the plains to the East Coast, including a rare tornado near New York City. The new escalation in Russia's invasion of Ukraine, drones targeting a shopping center in the hometown of President Volodymyr Zelensky. And the deepening divide tonight over automatic license plate readers, public safety versus personal privacy. And news on an effort to document the bedrooms of children lost to school shootings.
As a human, you have to say, this can't happen to anybody else.
Steve Hartman with what's next for his project, All the Empty Rooms.
From CBS News headquarters in New York, this is the CBS Evening News with Tony DeCopo.
And good evening. We begin with the news out of Massachusetts today, where Lindsay Clancy's defense team rested its case. The weeks-long trial over the killing of her 3 children has forced a conversation about the health of American mothers and the conditions many say are overlooked. And today, the defense called Dr. Philip Resnick as its final witness, the very same psychiatrist who testified in the trial of Andrea Yates before she was found not guilty by insanity for killing her own children in 2001. Here's Chanel Call with what the doctor said.
It was almost like she was a puppet and someone else was pulling the strings.
The defense's last witness, forensic psychiatrist Dr. Philip Resnick, told jurors via Zoom, Lindsay Clancy was completely detached from reality the night of the crime.
She had not only a command hallucination on the day that she killed her children, she had what is known as a delusion of influence.
He says he evaluated Clancy 4 months after the tragedy. His diagnosis?
Clancy was frankly psychotic. So in that sense, she had a postpartum psychosis.
Saying she should not be criminally liable. A similar conclusion to the one he reached on the stand in the Andrea Yates trial. But a forensic psychiatrist called by prosecutors disagreed.
She suffered from what's called a major depressive episode.
Did you identify whether she was ever presenting in a manic state or a hypomanic state?
Throughout the period from 2022 to 2023, no.
What about psychosis? Did you observe any of that?
I did not.
How much is the diagnosis of Lindsay Clancy going to factor into how jurors rule in this case?
Ultimately, that's really all that matters. In order for the jurors to find that Lindsay Clancy is not criminally responsible, they will have to at least accept that there was a possibility that she was in a state of psychosis.
And we're expecting prosecutors to call 2 more expert witnesses to the stand on Monday before jurors hear closing arguments. Tony?
Chanel, thank you. Now to that wave of powerful storms that plowed across the country yesterday from the Central Plains to the East Coast. That includes more than half a dozen reported tornadoes. CBS's Jared Ochacher on the damage left behind.
Is a tornado, and oh my God, it is spinning around.
As violent storms swept through the East Coast, the damage was extensive. Record rainfall, nearly 3 inches of rain swamping New York City, causing severe flooding and spawning a rare tornado.
We're very, very fortunate that nobody was injured, that there were no casualties.
It was one of at least 3 confirmed tornadoes to hit the East on Thursday, another striking Delaware. Debris flying from this motel in Dover where Carly Evans was staying.
The only thing that I could see was the roof coming straight at me.
Look at the rotation on that thing.
On New York's Long Island, we saw the impact of the devastation that struck Atlantic Beach.
And then we heard the glass cracking outside, the car windows were being broken.
Denise Baumer is a manager of the Sun and Surf Beach Club, where more than 100 people hunkered down as the tornado approached.
I've been here 60 years, and my children and my grandchildren were raised here.
Have you seen anything like this here before?
Nothing this extensive.
And while more than 50 cabanas were destroyed, she's vowing to rebuild.
It's very sad. It's very sad, but we're strong. We'll come back.
The manager we spoke with said the silver lining is their season ends shortly after Labor Day, so the club will have the fall and winter to rebuild. Tony?
Jared, thank you. We turn to Washington, D.C. now, where the editor-in-chief and other journalists with the military news organization Stars and Stripes have been fired following an interview with CBS News. Details now from our chief White House correspondent, Nancy Cordes.
2 of the 3 journalists fired today say they were let go for, quote, insubordination after they defended their outlet's independence in this interview with CBS Sunday Morning that aired last month.
I'm working for Stars and Stripes, not for the Pentagon, not for any administration, not for any policymaker.
For decades, Stars and Stripes has covered issues crucial to military families, like working conditions on the USS Lincoln. But about half its annual budget comes from taxpayers. And in January, a Pentagon spokesman announced plans to refocus its content away from woke distractions that siphon morale. Editor-in-chief Eric Slavin told CBS he began to worry then about censorship.
Do you have red lines in your mind?
Yes, I do.
Give me a red line.
Well, don't run a perfectly accurate story. Run this instead. Here it is, written by the Pentagon. That would be a red line.
I asked White House Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller about the firings this afternoon.
Does the White House believe that Stars and Stripes should have the editorial independence it has always enjoyed when covering the military?
I'm confident if anybody was fired, it was for just cause.
The Pentagon has taken several steps to limit press access under the leadership of Secretary Pete Hegseth, most notably kicking most of the Pentagon press corps out of the building after news outlets declined to sign a controversial reporting pledge. Tony?
Nancy, thank you. There's been a new escalation in Russia's invasion of Ukraine, an attack on a shopping mall killing at least 14 and wounding dozens. More now from CBS's Aidan Stretch in Kyiv.
Chaos in Kryvyi Rih, Ukraine, as a Russian drone slammed into a downtown shopping mall. Emergency workers rushed to tend to the wounded. Then, 30 minutes later, another drone struck the same building. Kryvyi Rih is President Volodymyr Zelensky's hometown. He called the drone strikes the work of monsters and accused Russia of a so-called double-tap attack, purposely targeting emergency workers there to help. It's been a dangerous year for Ukrainians. According to the United Nations, July was the second deadliest month for civilians since the war began. Russia's jet-powered drones and ballistic missiles have taken advantage of a lack of interceptors, pushing Ukraine to develop its own air defense system, former Defense Minister Mikhailo Fedorov told me last week.
I think everything is possible because we don't have any time to think about it. We need to do it.
You have to innovate to survive.
Yeah.
Today had already been declared a day of mourning here in Kyiv after an attack earlier this week killed 17 people. In an address this evening, President Zelensky said Ukraine will retaliate. Tony?
Aidan, thank you. We turn now to a CBS News exclusive, the story of 2 men caught up in the Trump administration's effort to carry out a record number of deportations. They entered the U.S. illegally, but instead of being sent back home, they've been sent to a third place, the Central African Republic, a country so dangerous the U.S. warns Americans not to travel there for any reason. CBS's Camilo Montoya Galvez now with details.
You never agreed to be deported to Africa.
No.
Last year, Cuban immigrant Yasmani Moreno de Armas was working and living in Florida. He's now in the Central African Republic, sent there by the Trump administration in late July, alongside dozens of deportees. We cannot leave, we don't have documents, and we're suffering and missing our families in a continent we don't know. He told us from Bangui, the country's capital.
Before arriving there, have you ever heard of the Central African Republic? Never.
The Central African Republic is one of the poorest countries in the world. Armed conflict, political instability, and Russian mercenaries have also made it one of the most dangerous. Eritrea native Zina Gebrazavier is also stranded in Bangui.
miss my family.
His American citizen wife and their 5-year-old son live in Maryland.
My son, he asks like every day to my wife, what is my daddy?
Dear Galem Gebra Hewitt called her husband's deportation inhumane.
He played with me a lot, and then he missed me a lot, and I miss him a lot.
Nathan is so hurtful more than us, because he loved his dad.
CBS News could not find any criminal record for either man beyond traffic and immigration violations.
There are some people here in the U.S., Yasmani, who would say that if you're here illegally or without papers, you should be deported. What would you say to them? You're saying people should be deported to their home countries, not to random nations in Africa.
And Tony, the deportation agreement with the Central African Republic has remained shrouded in secrecy. We do not know, for example, what that country is receiving in return for their deportees. The Department of Homeland Security has not responded to requests for comment. What is clear, Tony, is that the administration sees the deportations as an effective way to deter illegal immigration.
The cruelty is the point.
In this case, it is.
Camila, thank you. Tonight, the deepening debate over those flock license plate readers now in use across 49 states. They're supposed to help police and law enforcement fight crime, but critics worry about privacy and misuse, including by the police themselves. And some communities are now ditching them altogether. Here's CBS News correspondent Jason Allen.
Every detail of every car that passes a Flock camera is recorded. Flock sells the system as a crucial tool for police to solve crimes. But across the country, cities and counties are unplugging the cameras amid an uproar over privacy concerns, unauthorized searches, and police misuse.
This type of dragnet surveillance is what violates our constitutional rights, and it has only gotten worse now that AI is the main driver of these systems.
Last week, Flock announced tighter controls, including reducing data storage from 30 days to 7. The system is now also flagging abnormal search behavior.
I think hindsight is a brutal tool. Of course, we could have done more earlier, and we listen and we learn and we'll continue to move forward.
The cameras have fallen out of favor in several Arizona cities and counties. Officers there have admitted to using them to improperly track people.
The cameras are placed in spots where they look down onto parking lot entrances as well as public streets, and they're not coming down everywhere, especially in communities that see them as an extra set of eyes they can't replicate by just adding more people.
It's kind of ironic. Probably 3/4 of the homes in my town have Ring cameras or doorbell cameras.
Mike LaVault is the mayor in Youngtown, where more than 40 cameras are installed. The town doesn't have its own police department, so relies on the cameras to help sheriff deputies who patrol.
If you have a system that's working and you detect a little bit of abuse, don't throw the whole system out. Keep the system and figure out how to minimize the abuse. It keeps people safer in my community.
Jason Allen, CBS News, Phoenix.
Still ahead tonight, Hayden Panettiere's final moments, what we're learning about the actions of her on-again, off-again boyfriend. New details tonight in the death of Hayden Panettiere. We've reported that her on-again, off-again boyfriend and his brother were with her in her final moments, and now the brother is revealing more, telling TMZ that after being found unconscious, she was given Narcan. Senior national correspondent Mark Strassman joins us now with more tonight. Mark, good evening.
Good evening, Tony. Those new details shed light on the final frantic moments in that South Carolina apartment where Hayden Panettiere was lying unresponsive. Zach Hickerson, who is the brother of her on-again, off-again boyfriend, Brian Hickerson, spoke to TMZ for the first time since they called 911 trying to keep the actor alive. Zach Hickerson said when he arrived at the apartment, I knocked loudly, which apparently woke Brian up from a nap they were both taking on the pull-out couch in the living room. When he went in and tried to wake Hayden up for lunch, we realized she was unconscious. The brother then said, I immediately called 911, and Brian gave her Narcan. We then jointly performed CPR while 911 was on speaker. Narcan is a medication administered nasally to reverse the effects of an opioid overdose. First responders could not save her either. She died without ever regaining consciousness. There were no signs of foul play or trauma. Her ex-boyfriend, Vladimir Klitschko, who shared a daughter with Panettiere today, asked those who loved Hayden to think about love and to be kind. Hayden Panettiere would have turned 37 today. Tony?
Mark, thank you. Still ahead in a moment. Titanic, the ride for kids. Good fun or bad taste? A farm in the UK is under fire for a Titanic-themed amusement ride. For $3 a go, kids can hop onto a replica of the ship and slide out of it when the hull lifts up, just like the real one did before taking roughly 1,500 lives to the ocean floor. The farm at first apologized, but now the manager says he will not cave to what he's heard others call the woke brigade. Next up, another school shooting leaves another empty bedroom, and a decision now by our own Steve Hartman. Day in America and around the world. I'm Tony DeCopel. For all of us here at CBS News, thank you for watching this week. Good night and have a great weekend.